Do you want to be a troublemaker? Do you want to be a troublemaker? I've thought about this for a while now, and I feel like actually I kind of do want to be a troublemaker. Now, I'd like to explain that a little bit more so I don't just leave you thinking, wow, this person's really interesting. So, guys, please stay with me as I explain my point of view. Now, I would like to read a verse here in Luke. It's Luke 12:51. It says this: Do you think that I have come to give peace on earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. Now, I want to explain this to you guys because I don't want you to think the wrong vibe, right? I don't want you guys to think of me saying this as more like I just want to go and cause trouble. In a sense, I do. In a sense, I don't. I don't want to be causing sinful trouble. I want to be causing the right trouble, as it says here in the Bible. Now, think of it kind of like this. You're on a path, and this is life. This is your path. And as Jesus was on earth, there are people who didn't like the gospel. Okay? The Pharisees didn't like the gospel. Herod didn't like the gospel. All these people, they didn't like the gospel. They didn't like Jesus. Okay? Those people still exist today. It's not like they just disappeared. No, they actually still exist today. And we have this opportunity to stay true to the faith, to stay true, or we can waver. Now, as we're on this path here, there's going to be those people. And kind of think of it like you're riding on a horse and you have a sword and you don't necessarily need to use it, but they say you can either come with us and we won't harm you, or you can stay and we'll harm you. Now, this is when it's like, okay, we could cave and not be troublemakers, or we could stay true and be troublemakers. Now, my choice hopefully would be to grab out my sword and say, I want to be a troublemaker. I want to be here. Jesus says, no, I tell you, but rather division. Right? I want to follow Christ's example, and I don't want to follow this peacemaking in a sense. I want to go to the troubles in a sense, but God, he's also the King of Peace, right? How do you navigate that? Well, I think you should try to create peace in a sense, but in another sense, Jesus says in Matthew 28 to go share the gospel. This is true, I believe. He loves us so much, as it says in John 3:16. He sent his son down to earth so that we could have remissions of sin. Talks a lot about remissions of sin in the gospel in Romans, so I really recommend you guys read Romans. But getting back to troublemaker, I'm not saying you go out and cause trouble. No, when someone gets in your way of following Christ, you say, no, I'm not going to cave in. I'm going to be a troublemaker. I want to be here not to give peace, but rather division, in the sense of when someone's trying to get in the way of my relationship with Jesus. So what are you guys going to do? Are you guys going to be troublemakers, or are you guys going to cave in? Now, it sounds rather bold to say I'd like to be a troublemaker. But if you think about it, I hope and think all of us would decide to be a troublemaker.
Alright, y'all, I'm back. Different clothes this time, but I was just gonna let you guys know some ways we can be troublemakers. If you're a kid, obey your parents. Satan hates that.
Another way is by singing praises to God. Satan hates that as well. There are so many different ways you can be. We want to stand firm. We want to be troublemakers for God. We don't want to be of this world. We want to be of heaven. We want to follow Christ's examples that he set. And like he said, no, I tell you, but rather division.